Welcome back, friends. Here are 5 more bonus insights that took me 40 years to realize. Now, I definitely want to do more videos like this. But unlike most channels, I'm not going to ask you to like and subscribe. I think asking 2 things of people is too much in this day and age. We're busy. Either like or subscribe, but not both. If you like or subscribe, I think you might see new videos as they come out. And I definitely want to do more. So also comment down below what type of videos you want to see next. Otherwise, let's get straight to it. New bonus insight number 1. Even more real strength comes from asking for help. Now, with this one, I want to tell you how asking for help and being willing to be somewhat insecure in front of other people actually makes you more strong or stronger, I should say, and a more resilient person. So in the previous video, we had a lot of introspection, a lot of looking into the self, a lot in that Buddhist tradition, right? Now, I'm not convinced the self has all the answers. We have cognitive biases, we have prejudices, we have preconceived ideas of reality. We have our own limitations. So looking inwardly is very important to discover your personal truths, but some things that you do, your habits, your beliefs, the way you act in the world, your personality, a lot of that, I feel other people or science can also tell you a lot about you. And I think approaching people and asking nicely, how can I do this better? Get a trusted friend, someone you really trust, and go, listen, I've been struggling with this. Doesn't have to be a heavy conversation. You can just go, I trust you as a good friend. Please tell me how I can do this or this better. Or say, what do I do well? What don't I do well? Now, this makes us vulnerable. It's like we don't like starting those conversations. But someone you trust and a good friend and someone with a keen eye that you've picked out can tell you things about yourself that you wouldn't have thought of, things you do subconsciously. Likewise with science. You read up on things about cognitive biases and how the human brain works, and you'll go, you know what, I have this little inclination. And I often trip up here. And you might not see that yourself by just meditating for a million years. It's always both. So that was useful to me to understand. But going on to number 2, mastery is not simply talent plus time. Now, what I'm going to do here is I kind of want to figure out, or let's have tea. I'm going to edit that. Never keep this bit in. If you really want to become good at something, the equation for that likely has been taught to you wrong. Now, big claim, but it goes like this, right? You probably need some talent or inclination to be good at something or to do something well eventually. That's kind of true. Talent makes a big difference in most things. Now, lots of people then say, well, when you have the will or the talent, put in a lot of time, put in your 10,000 hours, just practice endlessly, hard work gets you there. Now, we often don't have the willpower to keep going, right? We hit a plateau, and once that plateau hits, and you see yourself putting in effort but not getting better, it's demoralizing. We often give up. You say, well, I probably just don't have the talent. It's me, or the world. We blame that. But from what I've seen is talent is important and time is important, but it's more important how we use that time. And the most important aspect of using time to become better at something is the improvement feedback loop. The improvement feedback loop. As you practice and practice to get better at something, you need to review what you've done and get feedback from yourself, reviewing what you're doing by watching videos or something, getting a good friend, getting a coach, someone who can every day, every week tell you, this is what you did well, this is what you didn't do too well, this is what you didn't do at all, and so forth. Now, this is the wisest use of practice time. This is why coaches work. If you want to get better at something, usually having someone like a coach helps, because there's a feedback loop in your skill where you constantly course correct. You're not just on a straight path up the mountain of improvement. It's constant little course corrections of, oh, I don't do that well. Oh, I do this badly. Okay. Ooh, this is what I do well. Let's do that again. And you constantly refine that road. And it's a much faster road to mastery then than just putting hours in. In fact, just putting hours in often leads you astray and you don't even know. You bump your head against that wall constantly. Get an improvement feedback loop constantly. That's how all masters refine their skills. 3. Good habits are easier to learn than life-shifting changes. Now, this was a lesson in how to take the first crucial step in fixing some of the bigger things that I wasn't happy about in my life. Now, what I found here was that if you want to be in a better place physically, mentally, emotionally, you often see how far you still need to go. And you see the peak of the mountain up ahead and you think, I'm not fit at all. That's hundreds of kilometers uphill. And it's so daunting that we don't even try. We try a few things, we get demoralized, we give up. Now, the best life hack I found to get around this is start with the most trivial habit that you can. If you want to be physically fit, walk around the block every morning. Important here, pick a trivial amount of work so that it doesn't feel like a burden. If it feels like a burden initially, you're more likely to give up. Make it so trivial that you can do it with your eyes closed. It doesn't bother you. You don't feel out of breath, anything. Same with anything else emotionally. If you struggle to talk about your emotions with friends, approach them and just go once a day, send someone one message that you feel a little insecure about. And then it's out the way. You don't have to open up about your big insecurities and things that are bothering you because that's too much. Start with the trivial one. Oh, I'm just going to say, send my parents a message. I love you guys. Something small. Something that's like, oh, that was a bit insecure. You know, I'm confronting my insecurities. Why is it hard to say that? And then slowly build it up until you feel ready to talk about the bigger things, until you're ready to do a big marathon. Do the trivial for about 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Do that trivial task to make it a habit, because then the neural pathways set. It becomes easy. It becomes second nature. That's honestly the best life hack I've ever learned. So number 4, delayed gratification retakes a lot of your life's control. Am I reading that correct? I am. I argue here that consciously practicing delayed gratification gives you a lot of autonomy and control in your life back. Now, you've heard probably on the internet of this idea of a internal or external locus of control, lexi of control. It boils down to how much is your internal state dictated by external factors or internal factors? As in, do I read bad things on social media, on the news, and am I instantly upset? Some guys, some jackass on the road cuts me off and I'm really upset. Or am I upset because of things I've realized about myself, or, you know, things that are internal? So how much am I at the mercy of the fates, or how much am I at the mercy of what's going on in my own psychology? Now, in tying in with the previous one about learning habits, this is something that I've kind of realized really helps me. And that is, every day when you have that desire for something, ooh, I want to eat that little thing. Ooh, I want to do that. Oh, I want to watch this. Oh, I want to grab my phone and now look at this. I also compulsively look at my phone. And just once or twice a day, like resist. Just, this is part of your of training. Just resist and go, wait, I don't want to give in to instant gratification. I'll leave it. Just leave the phone for 5 minutes, or that treat. Have it later. Wait 5 minutes, then go. Constantly train yourself. You will falter. You will often make mistakes. You will always make mistakes. You can't be perfect at this. We'll never be perfectly in control of our brains and minds and just do the things that are good for us. We make mistakes and that's fine. But training yourself slowly, and it ties very much in with the habits of just saying instant gratification, this is one I shouldn't always give in to. Leave it. suddenly that locus of control of your life becomes much more internal, where you can go, you know what, I don't need to do this now. It's not good for me now, so I won't do it. You're not a slave to suddenly you're not as much of a slave to your whims, to your emotions, to your desires and needs. It doesn't overwhelm you, and you can go, you know what, I know both in heart and in mind what's good for me. It's obviously a balance between the two, and you feel more in control of your life. Your self-confidence goes up with it. You feel less insecure, you feel more in control of your life, and this snowballs into a much better place that you can be in. So this meant a lot to me. So number 5, our final one, biggest one, is every morning when you wake up, stare directly into the sun for 5. No, don't stare into the sun ever, please. It's always a bad idea, even with sunglasses. Anyways, final insight is acceptance of things outside of your control. Now, I postulate here that the vast majority of things that we worry about daily are actually things we cannot change. We can go do a little exercise, right? Every time we're angry or upset emotionally about something, again, someone did something in traffic, I read something on social media or the news. Do a little count if you want to, of how many times it's something that you can do something about. And I bet 90+% of the time it's someone in traffic. I had no control over that guy. It's a war somewhere else. I feel bad, but I know I can't physically change something. If I can, go do it. If I can't, we spend so much energy worrying about it. And I want to reiterate what I said in the previous video. Acceptance does not mean I have to like it or approve. Sorry, I'm hitting the mic off of the stand. Anyhow, acceptance actually is going, I don't like this. I don't approve of this. It's awful, but I accept that I can't do anything about it. And the healthy alternative is, what can I control? What's within my control to fix? And then you focus on that small little world that we all live in of, I can improve myself. I can improve my relationships. I can slightly improve my immediate community, my society, by doing something good as well. And you know what? We have finite mental energy. This cannot be stressed enough. I think I'm happy to see this movement kind of gain traction online, where we realize we get burnout. We have X amount of mental energy in a day to deal with stuff, and we're spending 90+% of that on things we cannot change. If you reserve that energy and go, it's not that I'm not upset about that war or something else, go, hang on, but I know I need this energy badly for those around me because I can see my society has problems, or my relationships I need to fix. Someone else in my life is in trouble. And if you see it as this precious finite resource with still the goal to change the world, make it a better place, be a good person, but use my finite energy to control what I can, what I have control over. That actually leads to a better world than everyone just going, because otherwise it's outrage. What does social media profit from the most? You liking and subscribing to things. What are those things most likely? Fear-based, outrage-based, because they're the primal human emotions that's going to trigger this response of, I want to share this, I want to react to this. But it makes no noticeable difference in the world usually. But obviously, the most viral things make a lot of money for that very reason. Also, when you see something go viral, ask yourself, is it preying off of my instinct to be outraged, to be angry? Again, might deserve anger, but you don't have the capacity and enough of your finite resource left to give it the anger that it deserves if you could do something about it. Does that make sense? Geez, that was a long explanation. But I really feel that that's good for society, and that's who I strive to be. That's it, friends. Yeah, comment down below, subscribe or don't, or have a great day for yourselves. Thank you.